Project Helix. Microsoft announced yesterday, I believe. I can't remember now. So much has happened. Basically, they announced their next-gen console in quotes, and that comes into play later on. Basically, the new Xbox CEO, Asha Sharma, she revealed codename the Project Helix on March 5th. So that was, yesterday, as part of their commitment to return to Xbox. And then they said that they have a GDC presentation next week where they're going to be talking to partners and developers about the return to Xbox. So I expect next week we're going to see so many leaks about what she said. Here's her exact quote. She said, "Great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation of console." Sharma posted on her Twitter account, "Project Helix will lead in performance and play Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this move with partners and studios at my first GDC next week." So I have 3 questions for you guys. Number 1, what is your excitement level for the Xbox Project Helix, or whatever it is that they're, well, that's just its code name. It's probably going to have a terrible name, whatever it is, Project X or something. AI Core, whatever.
Plus.
Will it play discs? That's the second question. And then the third question needs a little explanation. So I saw this tweet from, I'm going to try and find the right one, from Jeff Keighley. And Jeff Keighley said, Xbox has announced the Project Helix is a code name for the next generation PC-based Xbox hardware device. Tom Warren fired back, "I think you mean Xbox console." And then Jeff Keighley replied, "Do you consider Steam Machine a console?" And I thought that's a fun conversation. Let's start with the first question. What do you guys think? What is your excitement level? We're not worried about the second and third question, just the first question. What is your excitement level for Project Helix? ETA Prime?
So I'm a huge Xbox fan. I always have been. I've got both, but I've always gone to Xbox for Forza, and it used to be Halo, but now it's on everything else. So, I mean, I have to see what they have. You know, I was talking to a couple buddies yesterday about it, and I'm hoping for like a Wii style setup where they got that handheld with it. That would be awesome.
You mean Wii U?
Yeah, the Wii U.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The Wii U with it, and it's not even the the hardware streams. I mean, that would be awesome, but just kind of speculating all kinds of crazy stuff that they could do to be different, but the same, but better.
Gotcha. Very interesting. What about you, Russ? What's your excitement level?
It was pretty high when I first read this. I was like, all right, it's the PC game thing, where I was like, okay, here we go. Like, this is what I've always wanted. I wanted an Xbox that can play PC games and my Xbox console games. Like, I've got this big disc library and digital library of Xbox console games that I want to play, and then I want to play my PC games. So pretty high. And then I started thinking about it, and it just kept going down because Asha Sharma, right? CEO. I personally think there's a lot of CEO speak that kind of comes from that level of leadership. And it says, play your Xbox and PC games. And the first thing I'm thinking to myself is there an unspoken sentence afterwards where she meant to also put from the Microsoft Store? Like, we don't see any guarantee of Steam games, right? We're just all jumping to that conclusion. Like, wouldn't that be great? Like, I want to be able to play all those games I already bought. But what if they just say, here's the Microsoft Store. You can play our PC games and our Xbox games on there. And that's the limitation of what they put into it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but the cynic in me is like, holy smokes, maybe this isn't going to be as great as I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm like a 7 out of 10 now, where I was like a 9 out of 10 when I first read it.
I'm going to see if I can, bring you back more to excited, because, and there's a reason to think that this is to have some skepticism for what I'm about to say, because Sarah Bond no longer works at Microsoft. But one of her first things where she stood up and was like, hey, everybody, we're talking about our next console, and our next console, you're going to be able to install other stores on. And then she didn't say it in the video, but then on like their blog post or something, they specifically said Steam. Now, she's no longer there. Phil Spencer is no longer there. So maybe Asha Sharma doesn't have to follow that same playbook, I guess is the word that I'm looking for.
So my one comment before we move on to the others is that, okay, but she said the return of Xbox. What does the return of Xbox mean? Does that mean getting rid of the Steam stuff and just doing Xbox? You know what I mean? Like that, I still don't know what return of Xbox actually means,
I know what it means.
And that might be part of it. It might be like, hey, we're going to stick to our own ecosystem. And that might be it. So I don't know. Again, the cynic in me, I don't want any of this to happen, but I am fearing the worst and hoping for the best.
I just to answer what you're thinking of, what does a return to Xbox mean? I think that sentence is just cheerleaders. Like, it's just somebody off to the side saying, "Yeah, go team." You know, that's just something to say to get the fan base riled up. You know what I mean?
It's like bringing up Blades, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrie, what's your excitement level here?
It's entirely dependent on what it means to play Xbox games. So for the PC side, I still am fairly confident that it's going to be everything. There's also a part of me that think that it's going to be a little bit more, and I'll explain more into that for a second. But we already had Epic Games say they're redoing the launcher, and they also said in a separate thing that they are integrating into the next Xbox. So at least that would be like the monkey paw wish, wouldn't it? Like no Steam, just Epic and Microsoft Store.
Ew. That makes me mad. About it.
So anyway, let's just assume that Steam is coming anyway. Anyway, because I still firmly believe that's the case. I genuinely need it to operate. If it operates as an Xbox does for Xbox One and Xbox Series games already does, in that you are in a container environment. So the Hyper-V Lite, Microsoft's Hyper-V Lite is actually at the OS layer. Then the game is run in a virtualized environment. Then it runs the game binary inside of that game environment, and then all that there is how it's done. That is how Game Resume works. I don't know if you guys know that, but like the VM itself, when you initialize, the Game Resume, it actually takes all that VM that was in memory and just dumps it to disk. So it just pauses the VM, and then right back, and then you get right back to where you were. So my hope is that that whole thing exists in the next Xbox console. And then if we go further, if the reality is that the next Xbox is going to be able to play PC games as well, but it's not actually a full-blown PC, insofar as you can download and install Steam games, but it does it in the same manner that Xbox games were, i.e., you know how like GameHub does it, where it kind of makes this virtualized environment, you start storing all these files in its own file system and does all the other stuff? Same type of thing. You're in your own container, which means that all Steam games, all PC games, thus support Game Resume as well. So now you have the same features and functionality of the made general Xbox console, but applied to also PC games because it's in that same container. So you have all the stuff that follows suit. So my hype level is entirely dependent on if console, Xbox means console, especially 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series, because there's a lot of stuff there. And then we're going to talk about it, I think, the next one later, but I'll leave that there. But that's where my hype level is entirely dependent on that. If it does both, then I'm at a 10.
Fair. Rich, where are you?
On excitement level? So I'm going to take a step back. I think this is like the first step in the right direction. I think that we have been, I guess, speculating as to this, although it's been more than speculation at this point, right? Like we have, it's all based on real foundation, but this is the first time that they've really come out and said Xbox games, PC games on the same platform. And I think that the problem with this is an Xbox campaign, and the problem with Xbox writ large right now is that there's been this fog of confusion, and this is the first step to sort of clear that fog. But they have so many more steps to go, as Carrie was kind of alluding to earlier, and Russ was alluding to as well, that like, man, they really have to land this plane, but in my opinion, they have to land it fast, right? And so, because again, some of those remaining questions, you allude to them too, Bill. Does it play discs? That's number one, right? That's a huge question for a lot of Xbox folks. Which stores are going to be available? I want to speak to that, but that's a question that clearly people still have. People are kind of cynical about this, and is it going to be just Xbox? Do you need a Helix to play Xbox games? Is it locked to Helix? How much compatibility is there? It's not going to be 100%. So like, can they give us a number?
Do you mean like, can you play Xbox games on a random ass PC?
Yeah. That runs Windows 12, is secure boot, TPM, all this stuff, but can it run Xbox games? That's a question that's going to come up real soon, real quick. Do you still pay for online? That's another question that they need to answer immediately. How about the full screen experience and their verified system? How does that work? PC games, are there going to be exclusives? Are there going to be new Xbox games? Like, now that Xbox also plays PC games, are they going to release new Xbox games in 2027, 2028? I don't know. And of course, there's a price, right? Like we were alluding to that too. On the subject of like which stores, I mean, in my mind, and this goes to the Jeff Keighley and Tom Warren thing. I mean, it's a PC, right? Like there exists no such thing right now that plays PC games, but only from one store.
Right.
Right. And so Carrie said Epic Games, that's already settled. But also this goes back to like February 2022. So even before Xbox stated this direction or even alluded to this direction, there was a blog post from Brad Smith, vice chair and president now at Microsoft, so roughly a peer to the CEO of Xbox, who said they were opening up all their stores, right? All their platforms to all stores. And that included Xbox. It was like, at the time, it was like a little tiny thing, but that was just a hint as to what's to come. It said it included Xbox, that Xbox will open up its platform to more stores. And you have to ask, like, why is that an edict? Why is that something that Brad Smith and presumably Satya Nadella is interested in? It actually has nothing to do with Xbox at all, right? Like, this is the play that they've been making this entire time to enter mobile in a way that, you know, Google and Apple have just dominated. And so they're willing to give up some of that console, maybe all of that console, 30%, to get a share of what they've been missing in mobile. At least that's how I see it. And so they can't do that and then somehow lock it down and say it's just Xbox and Epic Games and there's no way to get Steam whatsoever. I think it's possible that Steam doesn't, you know, like make it easy for some reason. Like they don't make a Steam client on whatever this is. Like if it's a new operating system that like requires some sort of signed whatever, maybe they don't do that, but I don't see that either. Right. And I certainly don't see Microsoft saying, no, we don't want it.
So the one thing I want to touch base really quickly on that part is that it's the Steam integration layer like Epic is doing or has already alluded to. I feel for me that Valve's integration is part and parcel with Windows 12 being an Xbox by itself, not needing the console to also do all of these things, because then at that point, it's Valve needing to support Windows as opposed to needing to support the next Xbox as the differentiator.
Go ahead.
Well, just one more thing I want to say, because we've been talking about it, but interestingly, they are set to have a pretty big GDC, right? Like it's not just Xbox, it's DirectX 12. And they've been alluding to a lot of stuff. And they're just set to have a big GDC. And that's why I say they need to land this plane, right? Like they need to really kind of come out after GDC and say, this is what we're doing and have answers for everybody.
What I was going to say is I don't see any world in which Valve says we don't want our store on another platform. Like, of course they would want their store because Valve has never been the guys that play, we want to lock everything down. They always want everything to be open. And they also want to be able to sell to as many people as possible. Because if I buy Project Helix and I can't buy a game from Steam, then I won't buy a game from Steam. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to. Valve want to be able to reach into my wallet and shake it, take all the money away. You know, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, and I think even if they somehow didn't do that, right, like there would be a way to play Steam games on Xbox, just like there's a way to play Steam games on Android. But I do think there's a chance that like Valve kind of drags. If for some reason the mechanism to get Steam on Windows 12, there's like a high ceiling for that for some reason where they have to integrate with something that they don't want to, it's possible that they drag their foot. That's all right.
So the one thing that I think at least I would assume that all of us would also tend to agree that the Xbox full screen experience hasn't been the best. Like it's kind of like this kind of neat idea, but implementation wise, experience wise, it really didn't land.
Half step.
So I kind of think of the opposite for the Xbox side of things, insofar as that it's like the VM hypervisor kind of scope of Windows, and I don't think that Helix actually has full PC side of things. Like you can't just install Excel and like use it for like keyboard and mouse type of thing. I don't see that at the particular moment, but outside of that, I think that if you just take a look at like the big headliners, so you like GOG, Steam, Epic, I feel like those guys are going to have this integration that is kind of necessary to facilitate something better than the Xbox full screen experience and make it more console-like. But this is also a conversation that we've had many times previously, like where we were just kind of like, wouldn't it be neat and wouldn't it be cool? We still don't know.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay. The next two questions are going to be fairly quick. So, will it play discs? I know that everybody on the show wants it to play discs. Well, okay, I don't care if it plays discs, but I want it to play discs for everybody else because I don't have any discs. But everybody wants it to be able to play discs. But will it play discs? We're just doing a prediction. Russ is going to say he doesn't know, but that's okay. I'm going to ask him first anyway. Russ, will it play discs?
I think that yes, with an external drive.
Okay. Rich?
I think yes. I think what I'll say a little more is just that if it doesn't, I consider that a failure, at least via external drive. I think it has to be not a failure.
I 100% agree that if it doesn't, it will be a failure. So I'm going to go back to Russ real quick. If it doesn't, is that a failure?
If it doesn't, I don't see a need to buy it because I'll just keep my Xbox Series to play all my discs, and then I'll just use a PC.
Fair enough. ETA, will it have discs? And if it doesn't, is that a failure?
Yes, it will with an external. And if it doesn't, yeah, I mean, I don't want it if I can't have a collection.
Okay. Carrie, you have so many Xbox games. Will it have
discs? So I'm gonna agree with everyone else. It's gonna be the PlayStation Pro method, also the newer PlayStation, but where you get the external that slaps on. It does hold the thing of like you buy it and then it's mated to your thing forever, and it does the whole signature security thing, like you can't resell it anymore. I would go even further that feeling of if you can't get the disk drive, it's a failure, is palpable, because I've had Twitter interactions where people have said it is not an Xbox console unless it can play Xbox discs. And that was his bar. Of like, this is the only definition of an Xbox console, and you have to meet this or else it's not that. And I was like, well, what about digital games? Like, if you own digital games, like, and it plays those Xbox ones, he's like, no, it must play discs. And I'm like, all right, that seems very specific, but there are, and I feel like from just the general sentiment here as well, that it very much needs to. And I would go further that it should support 360 games as well.
And Xbox original game. I almost said Xbox One, but that's different. That's a different animal, but you know what I mean. Yeah. All right, last question, and then we'll move on to our next topic. Who's right, Tom Warren or Jeff Keighley? Is this a PC that plays console games, or is it a console that plays PC games? And I'm imagining the good old Reese's peanut butter cup ad campaign. You got chocolate on my peanut butter. You know what I mean? So which is it? ETA Prime, is it a console that plays PC games, or is it a PC that plays console games?
Kerry said that he doesn't think you'll be able to open up Excel on it. And if you can't, then it's a console, I think. Like, if you can't install those apps and use it like a PC, then it's a console.
I think you will be able to. By the way, I think you will be able to install whatever the hell you want on it.
Yeah, I roughly think you will be able to install Excel. If you can't, that just opens up another bag of worms for sure. So I think it's a PC that plays Xbox games. I think it's fair to call it a console too. I've called the Steam Deck a console, so I think it's fair to call it a console, but it is certainly a PC.
Russ?
So a console to me is something that is exclusive to what it plays, right? Like it's got exclusivity to it. You know, Super Nintendo is a console that plays Super Nintendo games. If it can play Xbox console games when other PCs cannot, to me that is a console. So I think Tom Warren is right to call out Jeff Keighley, who called it a device, when I think it's a console if it plays console games, even if it's a PC. I mean, I could argue the Xbox One and the Xbox Series are PCs that play console games, and they just don't do the PC side of things. And so, yeah, I fully think that it's a console and that Tom Warren's right.
All right. I think it's PC. And Carrie, what do you think?
Again, I don't see it at all going to a PC side. I feel like that's going to be fairly locked down. The only reason I say that is it's truly a monster. If the rumored specs are true, this machine is a monster. And if the price, even at $1,200, is true, especially if it releases in 2027, I don't know if anyone appreciates that every pre-built manufacturer is not going to be able to sell squat. They will be able to sell diddly. Because the only thing that anyone's going to care about is like, oh, that Zen 6 with the NVIDIA 5080 for $1,200 instead of $2,400. Oh, gee whiz. Maybe I'll save 50% of my money and just do that because it's a full-on PC. It is so alarmingly powerful that I don't feel like when I tell people that it's like a 5080, they're like, yeah, you wish. And I'm like, hey, Grok, what does it compare to? And Grok's like, oh, with all the specs, it's very close to a 5080. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Grok. And it's just like, it's the best because I know what it is, but I mean, like, I don't have to like try to do it. I can just be like, hey, Grok, just correct this person. it's a monster. It's a gigantic monster. It'll eat your children. It's going to be very inexpensive. That's basically where it comes down to. So ultimately, Tom Warren is right 100% if it has an external disk drive and plays Xbox games, because that's the rule. I didn't make the rules. If it plays Xbox discs as a console, I didn't make the rules.
So, Carrie, we have to go back then to where we first started. Are you more excited for Helix or Steam Machine?
I'm more excited for Helix than Steam Machine. Steam Machine is it's neat, but it's really just about the price, and it really needs to be very inexpensive for me to like, oh, that's really cool, and you don't have that? You don't have a PC? Yeah, definitely get that. But if it's anywhere close to like $850, $900, and even if Xbox Helix is $1,200, it's like, especially if it just take longer, right? If they release when Xbox is like, hey, we have the Xbox Helix, and by the way, it's fantastic and super inexpensive. I think they have a real problem on their hands.
Yeah. Bill, what about you?
So I think it depends. If Xbox Project Helix is what I think it is, where it is just a freaking PC, which is super powerful, that also plays Xbox games and has a good UI instead of the bad UI that we're used to, then I am more excited for Project Helix. And here's the reason why. I already have a Linux-based living room PC that is more powerful than the Steam Machine. I'm more excited for Steam Machine because I want to make videos about it. I want to be able to talk about it. I want to show off the different things that you can do with it, not because I need it, because I don't need it. The Xbox Project Helix is going to make my computer, look like a wet paper bag, and even though my computer's pretty damn nice, you know what I mean?
Yep. All right, Russ, it's looking bad for a Steam Machine, folks. Where do you land on this?
I think that I know what I'm getting with the Steam Machine, and that's exciting in its own right. Like, it's going to be the small PC that does a decent job playing 4K with upscalers or whatever, but it's going to be a decent living room experience that I'm going to be able to use for emulation and all these kind of things. For me, that is, I'd rather have, one bird in the hand versus two in the bush. And I think that the Xbox has got a lot of cool things going for it. It could be a really fun PC console hybrid that could play my Steam games, that could also play my console games if I can get my Steam games on there, and if the interface is worth navigating through. If it's anything like the full screen experience, nah, forget it. Like, I don't enjoy that, And so my excitement is more for the Steam Machine right now. Even though I think the Xbox could be a very cool console, and I'm excited to watch how that plays out over the next year. For me, the Steam Machine is the one that I would want right now.
Before you ask ETA,
I was not going to.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll explain why.
Well, I just want to say this. I want to be able to hook up my Steam controller to it.
100%.
Right.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
If I can't, because Xbox controllers are fine, but they are featureless compared to all of the other controllers out there. Anyway.
Yep. So ETA Prime, the reason I wasn't going to ask you next is because I have the perfect opportunity to put you on the spot and make you the tiebreaker. I have to side with Russ. I think the way you framed it, the bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, is exactly how I feel, right? Like I'm already excited for Steam Machine as it is. I am excited for the potential of Helix. So I have to say I'm more excited for Steam Machine. And so ETA, that leaves it to you.
So for me, it's going to have to be the Steam Machine for sure. Like Russ said, we know what we're getting. And now the biggest thing here is it's kind of hard because we don't even know the price. Like, I think it's going to be more than people really think. And I think Valve could have took a hit on it and still been fine. But I don't think they're willing to do that. But still, either way, I'm more excited about the Steam Machine.
I will add, too, having a third player in the living room. I mean, okay, yes, we can put Nintendo in there, too. But we're really talking about this. Like, a third player competing in the living room is going to make the PlayStation and Xbox better. And that is something I'm very excited about, too, is to see how the landscape changes over time.
But doesn't count as being a competitor in the living room if you can't walk into a store and buy it. If you can only buy it from Valve's website. What do you think, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, there's that stupid thing. What is that stupid thing that outsold the Xbox, right? That dumb little Android thing. You know what I mean? I don't think
made a video about.
Right. Yeah, that thing's a console too. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about whether or not it's in store. I also don't care that it's not going to compete performance-wise with those other ones, I don't really care. It's whether or not people are going to play it. More people played the Wii than a lot of other stuff at that time. You know, that zeitgeist feeling, and that's the kind of thing I'm really hoping for, is that sometimes people don't care about the graphics. They want just the innovative, cool thing, and I think the Steam Machine might be that thing.
I think the only thing I want to add to that is the only excitement that I have for the Steam Machine is not the hardware itself, but the new things that Valve gets out of what they can do on RDNA 3. Like, I'm just like, they have all of this stuff there to do FSR 4 emulated on RDNA 3. Are they going to do that? It sounds like they're going to do that. That's more exciting to me on the software front for Steam Machine than the hardware is. And to a certain degree, the Steam Deck, I cared way more about the hardware than the software. But for the Steam Machine, I care more about the software than the hardware.
That's fair. All right. Well, let us know what you guys think about all of these questions. Are you excited about the Project Helix? I cannot remember the name. I can't wait till it gets a different name because I can't remember it. Are you excited for Project Helix? Is it a PC or is it a console? And I forgot the third question because I closed that part of the show notes. Will it play discs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
All Asha has to do is call it Xbox 720, bring back blades, and announce discs.
That would be ball.
Imagine-
Xbox 720 would be.
imagine-
Call it Xbox 3.
No, if
Xbox 7.
if she calls it Xbox 720, brings back blades, and tells us there's discs, the internet's done. It's done. It's a wrap.
I mean, you have to, like, when she says bring Xbox back, I have to agree with Rich. If she does just those three things, like, you know, like Steve Jobs on the thing is like, it's a 720 and it plays this, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's the iPhone moment. Yeah, that would be pretty baller.
All right, real quick before we move on, let's all give a name. What are they going to call this thing? I think they're going to call it Xbox 3 or Xbox Neo. And I'm saying 3 because that's a stupid name. But Xbox Neo, I think, is what they'll go with.
I mean, I have zero faith in them naming this good. So I don't know. I mean, the 360 was also weird, but I kind of grew to like it. I don't know. I have to believe somewhere in my gut that there's Cortana AI. There's something with AI in it. There's gotta be. It's just so cringy that it has to be there.
I can see that, especially Cortana. I can definitely see that. I'm just gonna manifest it. I'm saying Xbox 720. I know it's not likely. I'm manifesting it.
Xbox 720 would be such a better name because you have the PlayStation 6, and the reason they came out with the 360 was so the PlayStation 3. They wanted to have a 3 in the name. So if they can do 720, it would be one more than the PS.
It's genius.
That's like when Atari changed their name to Atari so they would show up first in the phone book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yellow Pages rules.
So I am of the same kind of mindset that they are going to botch this. They're going to come up with some AI speak name that's going to supposed to, like, you know, they're going to call it that Xbox Buddy or something. You know what I mean? Like some dumb name like that.
It's just going to be Xbox Chat.
Right. And so
that's it.
Like Clippy, you know, like something dumb like that. But my guess is going to be Next Box. That's what I think they're going to try to call it.
No. It's definitely, you just said it, Russ. You were absolutely correct. They're going to have like streamers and they'll be like, hey, chat. And it'll be like talking to the Xbox because it's called the Xbox Chat.
Hey, chat is crazy.
Or them ideas.
That's
all right.
insane.
No. I've now changed my name. It's going to be Xbox Blade. That's what they're going to call it.
That's a good second place to 720.
ETA Prime, give us a name. What is it going to be?
I think they're just going to call it Xbox.
Yeah,
I think
simply
they're
Xbox.
just going to go right with Xbox and be like, this is an Xbox.
Kind of like iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
MacBook,
or iPad.
Right? They're all MacBook Pros, you know. They don't say MacBook Pro 2.
Yeah. People just say, you got the new one? Yeah, I got the new one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Good point.
you know what? Give us the names that you think. You know what I want? I'm going to give away a code to the funniest name that somebody comes up with in the comments down below, because I want to hear these. This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.